Hello everyone, what's going on? And welcome to a tutorial on how to make Rust skins. Specifically today we're going to be making a semi-auto pistol skin, and this is also going to teach you, after you make the skin, how to upload it to the workshop. So there's a couple things we're going to need. First off, you're going to need Photoshop Extended. CS6 or CC would be fine. I'm using CC. And it has to be the extended version. That way you have this 3D tab up here. If you have Photoshop and you're not sure if you have 3D or not, if this 3D tab is not on your Photoshop, then you most likely do not have the extended version. So you'd have to go get the extended version for this to work. If you don't have that, sorry, but yeah, that's what I'm using today. So you're gonna need Photoshop. You're also going to need a program called Unity. I'm just going to close this out real quick. So what you're going to do is just go to Google or Yahoo or whatever and just type Unity. And the first thing that should come up is Unity Game Engine, and right down here should be download. Just click download. You're going to click choose your Unity plus download. And it's going to come up personal edition and professional. You're going to get the personal one because it's free. You can get professional if you want. The things that we're using doesn't need the professional version, so personal is just fine. So go ahead and click free download, and then just install it as you would any normal program. There's no app or anything like that's going to try and install on your computer, so you should be fine. But make sure you're careful as always. So once you have Unity installed, you can go ahead and open that up. So here it is. I'm just going to open it up. When you open it up first, it's going to ask you to log in. If you don't have an account, make one, and then you're going to log in and you're going to get this screen. Rust SDK will not be there for you, so what you're going to do is you're going to click open. You're going to navigate to where your Steam is installed. Mine is on my storage drive. Then you're going to do Steam Apps, Common, and Rust SDK, and select. And then inside there, there'll be another folder, Rust SDK. Click on it and click select folder. I already have it, so once it's there, just click it and it'll open up. The first time you open it up, it's gonna take a couple minutes. Don't worry, it's normal. Every time after that, it'll load up just like mine did, pretty quick. And then it's gonna start you with these folders right here. Now, if you're wondering how do I get Rust SDK, what you're gonna need to do is go into Steam, and if you don't have Rust for this, you can't make a skin if you don't have Rust, the actual game. So if you have, make sure you have Rust, and then go up to your library. I'm using a Steam skin, so it might look a little different than yours, but it should be pretty much the same. You should have a library tab. Hover over it, and then go to Tools. Then scroll down until you find Rust SDK right here. You're just gonna right click on it, and then you might it should be like an install or whatever, or you can click this little cloud here and that'll install it. Once it's done installing, you don't need to do anything else with Steam, and then that's how you will be able to get there. So another thing you're going to need to do is navigate to your the Rust file. So what's this? So go to the Rust SDK. So it's in Steam Apps and then Common, Rust SDK. You're going to go into Assets, Content, Skinnable, and then these are all the skins in these folders that you can make. So what you're going to do is you're going to, well, you can pick whichever one you want. You don't have to follow along with the one I want. It's pretty similar for each one. But I'm going to do a semi-auto pistol today and see how that goes. It's my first time ever skinning one of these, so there might be a little problems, but I'll try my best. It's kind of similar to all the other ones. There might be a little bit different when you load up the textures. They kind of look a little different if they're not perfect. I don't know which ones are perfect because sometimes they get weirded out, but you don't need the actual textures to make your own. But we're going to copy this because we don't want to edit the actual stuff in these raw folders. So go back out once you copied it to Assets, go to Workshop, then you can just paste it here, and then just name it anything. I'm just going to name mine .camo because I'm going to make kind of a little camo skin today. And then you go inside there. Well, if you go back in Unity, it's going to load it up. Alright, didn't do it, but you saw the little green bar down there that was loading it up. It'll reload Unity so everything's alright. And then if we go to our workshop, our semi-auto pistol.camo is right here. This is everything. So this is just here for now. We're not going to do anything with this as of right now. So what you're going to need to do to import the model into Photoshop, the .fbx, this is the model, but you have to convert this to an OBJ. So I'll have a link in the description. I actually spent time and converted every FBX model into an OBJ one. So if you go to the link in the description, it'll bring you to this Dropbox page I made. And this has every model here. So if you just click on whichever model you're doing, I'm doing the semi-auto pistol. There's the OBJ file. You're just going to download that. The only model I don't have is the snow jacket one. I think it might be corrupted in the SDK because I was not able to convert it. So if you're doing the snow jacket, it's not in here. You might be able to just search up FBX to OBJ converter and try it yourself, but it did not work for me, and I tried it like twice. So, but every other model should be in here. So we're just going to click this, and then we're just going to click download. And then we're going to save file, and we're going to save it to our folder. So just navigate to your Steam folder, then go to your Steam apps, common, go down to your Rust SDK, go in there, assets, workshop, and then whatever folder you created for the model you're going to be doing. Mine's here, and then just save the file. Alright, now that's done, it should be, we'll just get it to. So now here it is, semi-auto pistol.obj. What you're going to do with that is you're just going to click it and drag it right into Photoshop. It's going to come up with this new document. Just click OK. You don't really need to edit anything there. And here it is. So you can see it doesn't have the texture on it. I don't know what's up with this one, but it's using it's not using the, it should be the albedo texture, but it's not. I'm not really sure what that's about. But anyways, it's kind of okay. We don't really need to worry about that. There's other techniques we're going to be using today. I'm not like a really good scanner or whatever, but I'm going to try and make this as cool as possible. So, a couple of things you should know is when you load yours in on the 3D layer here, you're probably going to have a couple of things. So, we only need one, so you can delete all these other ones until you just have one. Alright, so now we just have one pistol here. So you can move it with the little pointers and stuff. Alright, so like the pointers move it. You can go up and down, as you know, X, Y, and Z. This little thing will scale it. You do not want to really do that because it might not look right when you're looking at it because it'll look different in the game on the texture. Just don't scale it because it'll mess up the texture file for the game. So if you scale it, make sure you undo that because you don't want to do that. And then this little part in the middle here, this is to rotate the gun and stuff like that. So yeah. And then if you click here on the scene out of the gun, you can rotate the scene and whatnot. You have your tools up here. So this one up here allows you to just move the scene around. This one up here allows you to rotate the scene. And then this one just allows you to move it. Kind of simple. So yeah. And then these two up here, I'm not sure what those are for. And then you got your light over here. So if you just go right here, you can change the light on the way it is. So I'm just going to kind of point it right there, whatever. And then you can just click out of there and the light will go away. And now you can see it's down here if you want to adjust it again. So those are kind of the main controls that you're going to be using when you're trying to view your model and do stuff. Now, there's a couple ways to paint your model. You can paint it or you can add textures to it. There's a lot of different ways. I'm not going to go over every single way you can do it because there's just a lot of different styles and ways you can do it. Some are better than others. I might not use the most efficient one, but if you want to see a couple videos that should go kind of in depth, just look up Photoshop model 3D model texture, whatever, and there's a couple different ones. So you can just, if you take your paintbrush out, and we scroll down and I kind of switch this, you can paint onto the gun, but as you see, it's kind of weird, and that's because it's trying to paint as the best it can, but it can't really do that. So I'm just going to undo that. So one thing you can do to fix this is go up to this 3D tab, and then you're going to go to, let me see what, trying to think what it was. I'm not exactly sure what it was. There's a video that you can look up and she kind of tells you. She does a video of her painting a head or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I can't really remember right now. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyways, I'm not going to be really painting on here. So what you can paint on here. It is fine. But once you paint on there, it'll show up on the texture file. So basically what this is it's a model, but 3D is not something Photoshop was always capable of. It usually works with 2D images. So in order for this 3D image to have texture and stuff, it maps a 2D image into this 3D image. So what you're going to do to get to this 2D image that will show you the 2D textures, which are way easier to edit, and can be really helpful for applying textures and other stuff like that, is you can go, if you're on this 3D one, go to the Layers tab, and on your layer below where it says Diffuse, it should have some kind of texture here. Double click on that and it'll bring this up. Now mine's blank. If you have a texture, which you probably might on yours, depends on what you're doing, it'll actually have a texture here of all this stuff. It might look a little confusing, but I can't really explain it because I don't have one here. But anyways, if we were to paint on here like that, if we go back here, you can see that we now have this blue line on our 2D texture thing. So now if I was to go like this, and I went over here, you can see our gun now has blue all over it. So that's one way you can do that. I'm just going to go back. Alright. So now that's all done. So that's basically the 2D texture stuff. So now what you're going to want to do on this is something else cool, is you should be able to check UV overlays. And this will give you just a brief overlay of where everything is being mapped. So this one, it's kind of confusing, but if you go back over here, actually we might need to click File, Save maybe. Oh, these are UV overlays. So those are just the overlays. So what you can do is, what we're going to do is, I'm just going to make, I don't know why that has a blue line on it. That's a little weird. Just go to your paint. I'm going to go to my paint bucket tool and make a new layer. Why can I not paint that? That must not be the paint bucket tool. Alright, where's my paintbrush? Is it just not updating for me or something? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, that was weird. I don't know what was happening there. It just wasn't not updating or whatever. So now, once you have something like this, if you have your texture or whatever, you could be able to do your UV overlays, but another way to do it is because this is just an overlay. If you want to see it on your gun to kind of get a better visual of what's actually going on, go up to 3D, and then you're going to click, you're going to go to Create Painting Overlay. If you're in a lower version like CS5, it might say Create use 3D overlay. It'll say something along similar to this, but it won't be painting overlay, but it should be similar to this. Then you're going to click wireframe, and there we go. Then it creates the same thing as this did, but now it's on a layer instead that you can turn on and off. Now what this does is if you turn it on and go back over here, which we might need to update this, yeah, because it's not even blue. Now I'm really like, what the heck? Oh, whoops. I don't know why it's not blue. It should be blue, and I don't know why it's not. Let's click on this. That's a little weird. I'm not exactly sure what's up with that. My Photoshop's like really glitchy. I don't know what's up. Let me try and paint a different color. What happens if I paint like on this? Okay, I'm just going to delete that. Am I not? Hold on, give me a second, guys. This probably won't happen to you, but for some reason my textures aren't being linked. Okay, I just went ahead and deleted the layer. Now if I click on it again, it'll bring this up. It's totally different. I don't know what was up with that. But I'm gonna create the wire mesh again. Or wireframe, sorry. Now if we go back here, now you can see that on here, if we have the wireframe on, if we kind of rotate around, you can see that it shows what the wireframe is actually representing. So it'll kind of give us a little bit better understanding of where we're painting on the object. So if we go back here, if you turn this off, it'll get rid of that. So don't be afraid that it's going to be stuck there. It's perfectly normal if you just uncheck it. But don't still have this selected. Have this selected if you're going to start painting again. So we're actually going to start painting or whatever. So I'm just going to completely erase this. Okay, so now we have a blank texture. Alright, and then if you come back here and you're like, I cannot move my object, if you go back to the move tool, you can then move again. So don't be worried about that. It should be fine. Alright, so if you turn this on, or actually let's just see here. If I'm just going to paint a little line, not a big one like this, just right here. Alright, and then I'm going to go back here, and now I can see that this area right here looks to be the camo layer. So I'm just going to paint this blue and see what this does. Okay, so now if I go back, alright, so that's the other side. So that is the complete side. So what I'm going to do, I'm kind of going to give that a little camo top. I don't know what that does. That might be... I should be fine. And then we'll edit the front there so it's like a little black or whatever. But we're going to turn our... Actually, we're going to keep our wire mesh on for now. But I'm going to open up a camo texture. So I have this one right here. And also, I want it to be kind of a bluish camo. So what I'm going to do is down here, I'm going to click Hue and Saturation and change this to a bit of a blue texture. Maybe turn the saturation up so it's a little bit of a brighter blue. And then maybe a little bit of the lightness up. Yeah, and then maybe like a 45. Yeah, I like that. Alright, so then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this, Control C on your keyboard to copy, and then Control V over here. Oh, whoops. We need to merge these two down first. Then we can copy. Click that layer, and then we'll paste. So now that it's in here, Control T, we're going to kind of make this go down a little bit because this is way too big. Alright, and then I'm just going to paste it, or put it right here. And if we go back, you're going to see it makes the whole gun like that. And it's kind of doing some weird stuff, so we're going to have to fix that. Which I don't think would be too hard, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of just going to select this. Alright, and then I'm just going to delete that. And we do the same over here. Delete that. Do a little bit on the top here. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and erase this blue because we don't want any of that on our image. So up here now, if we go back, we can see that it's kind of not what we want. So we're gonna have to try and fix that. Alright. So I'm gonna kind of zoom in here, and I'm not exactly sure on how to fix this. This is like my first time, but you're going along with me. I might have to cut here or whatever, or you might just have to skip forward if I do this. But what we're gonna have to kind of do is really see where things are. So we're gonna have to get out our paintbrush again, and we're gonna size this down, and I'm just gonna put this layer right here on top so I don't want to paint on the camo. I even make this a little bit smaller. So I'm just gonna make a streak right here. So on the gun, you can see that right here is that blue streak, and it looks like this whole side of the gun is fine. But once we get up to around, where's my light at? I'm just gonna bring this over on. Yeah, like right there, so I can see this a little bit better. Alright, so if I zoom out, let's get rid of the wireframe for a second so I can actually see what it looks like. Alright, so it looks like where we start to mess up is right here. This looks kind of messy, especially right here. I don't know if we'll actually be able to fix that because it's kind of skewing it. Oh, so let's turn that frame back on. We will erase that. That's actually way too big. Alright, and then we're gonna paint again, maybe like right on this layer. Let's see what that does. So that put a whole big line on all of that. I'm not gonna lie, this can get confusing. Another thing we can try, which I guess I can show you, is I'm just gonna I'm gonna turn this off. I'll turn the wireframe off. We're gonna copy this big piece right here. Control C. We're gonna have to come back and kind of erase some stuff, and then we're gonna do it just on that layer. So I'm gonna turn that layer off, and then back here, if we kind of go out, I'm gonna make a new layer, okay? And then I'm gonna Control V. Why is that so small? Is it because it's... Alright, hold on. We're going to get rid of that piece because I don't know what's up with that. We're just going to go back to our whole texture here. Whoops. And select this. Alright, and then we're just going to scale this down again. So what you can do is we can apply this directly to the gun, but we might have to do it multiple times, which might be tricky, but we can try, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, so we're just going to go real quickly. If you go up to your move tool and then go back down to the layer. I'm just gonna turn that off. If you go to over here on your properties, you can change exactly what view you want. So we're gonna try. Do not want that. You might need to center it because yeah, it's not centered. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to click on my gun, or right click the gun and coordinates, and we are going to set this to reset the coordinates. Alright, so now if we go to left, which is the front apparently. Alright, so this is the front. Let's go to the back first because that probably has the light on it. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to kind of just zoom in a little bit. And we're going to turn this on. And we're probably going to... Whoops. Alright, we're going to need to make this go down a little bit more. Alright. So if we go just like this, I'm gonna duplicate this layer and then turn it off. And you can kind of just follow along with this. Like I'm just showing you kind of a technique right here. This might not work the best, but we're gonna try it. So then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna right click and merge down. But I need to change my target texture. If it says that, you just need to change the texture that you're using. So just gonna get rid of that. Oops. Alright, now I'm gonna merge down. Alright, change my target texture. I'm just gonna make a new layer. Oh, because it was not visible. Duh. Wait, is this? Oh, that's my wireframe. Okay. Alright, so there we go, and then now I should be able to merge down. So there we go. So now you can see that it kind of did the whole thing. And if we go back out, it may have, it looks like it kind of did get this. It doesn't do the whole side, but it kind of messed this up, as you can see. So yeah, the camo might not work, unfortunately. You can just try and paint it if you want, but this one is a little tricky. But yeah, these are this is just a couple different ways that you can do it. I'm probably just gonna try and do a bunch of other stuff off screen, or I'll try and do this off screen because I don't want to make this too long. This is just to help you guys out. But that's another technique you can do. Sometimes it'll do this stuff up here where like the line stuff, it can't get it perfect just because of the way it is in here. As you can see, it's kind of weird. If you're not doing the semi-auto pistol, it'll probably be working out better for you. This one just has a little weird curve here. And if you go back in here, it's one of the reasons this is probably happening, because if we go back into our semi-auto pistol, the actual texture for this is this one, and you can see it's not a confined square like this one is. It's actually a bigger image like this. So I'm not sure what's causing it. I might try and fiddle around here, and I'll let you know if I can change it somehow. Alright, so what I did to get this on here is, it was pretty simple. There is a couple weird things happening, as right here, like on the top there, and kind of like on the side a little bit, you can see it better up here. It's got like, it's got some gray stuff on it. I'm not too sure what that's about. It probably is this gray stuff in here. It's not registering right. This is a thing that's going to happen with some textures, so I can't do too much about them. But if you ever want to change this to get it there, then you can kind of just tweak it a little bit yourself. But if you want to get it on there, what you're going to do is you're going to go to 3D and go down to this part right here where it says default under your pistol tab. So if it's not there, you should just click this little arrow. It should drop down. If you click this though and go to diffuse, click this and click replace texture, and then select whichever file the texture is. It'll then switch it for you. So that's how you do that. Yeah, so that's how that happens. That's how you switch that. So I'm just gonna make like a really bad example, I guess. So I'm just gonna take a paintbrush, and actually, you know what we could do? We're just gonna go ahead and totally just make a really weird texture that's gonna get super downvoted on the workshop. If you ever see this, just downvote it. It's gonna look terrible, but we're gonna go ahead and switch back to our essentials. I'm gonna get a gradient out here, and then I have tons of gradients to choose from. A rainbow one might work, so we're just gonna spread a rainbow on that, and then we're gonna actually, if we go ahead and we're gonna have to convert this to a smart object. Then we're gonna go blending options, gradient overlay, and then we're gonna choose our rainbow. Alright. Alright, kind of scale it a little bit. Alright, that should be fine. It's just a really weird. If we go back now, oops, probably gonna have to save this. So we're gonna click File, Save. Maybe I'm not editing the right texture. I'm not sure. I'm gonna click this. Alright, and then I'm just gonna. Alright, we're just gonna do this. Alright, there we go. And then, oh yeah, look at the butte. Ain't she pretty? Actually, you know what we could do? Well, let's do this. We're gonna just copy this. I'm just kind of doing a weird thing right now. Alright, and then we're gonna do this. Crap. Actually, we cannot. I don't think we can convert that, actually. That might be what screwed it up. I'm just gonna change this to that. Alright, that should be fine. So once you're done, you don't have to do anything to your model, but over on here, on your texture thing, you have to click File, and then you're going to go to Save As, navigate back to your Steam folder. So this is just like a texture file. Whatever you have, it'll probably look not just a big blob like this. It'll probably look something like well, it's already open. Something like probably hold on, it won't open up. I'll show you in a sec. So let's just navigate there. So Steam Apps, Common, and then you're gonna go to your Rust SDK, Assets, Workshop, and then whatever folder you're doing, and then save it as a TGA, target file. Just click Save. Alright, there you go. And yeah, this opened up. So you're probably going to see something like this. This is what yours might look like. And then you customize this or whatever. This is what a normal texture file would look like. This pistol's kind of messed up. Not sure why, but It's probably because it's not in a square file like this, so it didn't accept it. But that's just Photoshop not being compatible with all files. So yeah, so you can close all this out, and I don't really need it. And you can close your model out because you're done with it now. You know what it's going to look like. If we go back into Unity, it'll reload probably. You're going to see two files in here now. One is the OBJ and one is the FBX. I'm just going to put the FBX one in. Alright. Alright. This is so weird. Alright, what the heck? Alright, anyways, once you have your gun here, whatever, I don't know why I can't zoom in on it. But anyways, you're gonna click on it. Make sure you clicked on it. Some of the main controls is you just have remove stuff here. To rotate it, click this little rotate button up here, and then you can rotate it and stuff, just like this. Alright, and then this will help you scale it, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what that's for. I have never used it, but I'm just assuming. So once it's here, make sure you click on it, and then you're gonna see your skin right here. So just take this, click on it, and drag it. Oops, yeah, click on it, and just drag it on here, and then it's going to apply it. And now for everything, once you do that, every time you do that with a new texture, you're gonna want to go into materials, and you're gonna see your new material here. You're gonna take it and drag it into your folder, click on it, and then turn the smoothness all the way down. That's very important, or else it's gonna give this give a bright effect that we don't want. So something else you're going to do, you gotta apply these a couple maps. Some have more maps than others, but if you just search it, you might find maps that aren't in the other folders, and you're gonna want to have the maps that are in the folder selected. So you don't want to have a map that's in the skinnable folder, else, because when you upload it and download it, it's gonna be like, hey, where is that map at? So go back to wherever your thing is. So here's mine. And I'm just going to call these things other things. So the ones you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do your normals. So I'm just going to type CAM at the beginning. You're going to want to do the AO, which I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but I'm just going to rename it anyways. And then I think there might be, specular. Rename this one CAM. And then I think there might be, sometimes there will be a metal one, but there doesn't seem to be a metal one on this one. So if you go back in here, it's going to reload it. It's going to say, hold on, that's normal. So now we can go to normal map. You're going to click the little button right here, the little circle, and then you can just search your cam. And here we can see this is our normal map. We're going to click this. It's going to look weird on your model, but click Fix Now, and then it should look a lot better. I don't know why I can't zoom in on it. That's so weird. Anyways, what we're going to do... Oh, you know what? Hold on a sec. I'm just going to click File New Scene. You want to drag the preview in instead. There we go. Alright. So now you can move your thing around, and now we can get a close-up of this. Alright, so this is what you want. You want the preview, okay? So once you have your preview in, you're just gonna do this same thing again. So you're gonna click on it, drag this on, and it created a new material. Whoops. Alright, so we're just going to delete this material because we don't need it anymore. Go back and put this material back in there. Alright, so we're going to turn our specular all the way down. And then we're going to apply our specular maps. So think that's it. It's just to do that. And then we're going to do our normal map. So we're going to search whatever you named it, and then this is the normal one. The bluish one is always the normal one. And I guess it's already fixed or whatever. And then sometimes it'll have a mask that'll be right here. And then I guess, no, alright. And then that's really all you needed to do. So this is our model here. Oops. Alright. So yeah, so what we're going to do is you're going to need a preview image for the workshop. So everything is done with your gun now. You're just going to need to upload it to the workshop. So what you're going to do is, to get a preview image, if you zoom out of your preview window here, you might have to zoom out kind of far, but if you zoom out, you'll see all the way back there is a camera. Alright, and if you click main camera, it'll show you the camera preview. Which I don't know why it's... Oh, that's the light. I don't want to move that. Where's the main camera at? There it is. It's way up there. Alright, move it down, and then just gonna move it here. Might need to... Oh yeah, we gotta rotate it around. And this preview really helps down here, so I suggest looking at that a lot. Alright, then go back, and then we can move it in, slide it down. Right. If we zoom in a little bit more, this the preview down there really helps refine it. And then what you're gonna do is just click play, and there you can go. You can see your gun right there. Just click print screen on your keyboard. Also, to put like a little background on it, like I can show you some of the other ones I've done in the past that I've done kind of recent, is I did it like this for the granite rock and this camo shotgun or whatever. To get like that metal in the background, what I did is I didn't print screen it from here. I actually had the model in Photoshop, and then I just kind of used the model in there because there's no shadows or anything in it, or there's no like green background and stuff like that, because that can kind of get in the way if you're trying to put a background in it like that. But what we're gonna do is new, and the size you're gonna want is 512, and you can have other sizes like any size that's square, like that has the same width and height, but 512 by 512 is the default workshop size. Then we're just going to Control V in there and move our pistol like this. So yours will probably look a lot better than mine. Then you're just going to save it as a PNG in our folder here, and we're going to call it Rainbow Pist Preview. Alright, click save. Okay. Then you can exit out of Photoshop. I'm not going to, but you can now. You don't need it anymore. You're gonna go back into your folder here. Go back into Workshop, and you're gonna see this file called t-shirt.facepunch. Go in there, right click on this meta.asset and copy that. Then you're gonna go back into whatever model you're doing and just paste it in there. Then if you go back into Unity, you're gonna see that your preview's there, and this meta green little Steam icon popped up. Click on that, and this is what you're gonna use to upload your model into the workshop. So I have to actually first go and make sure I'm logged into Steam, because if I try and upload this and I'm not logged on, it's super weird. So I'm not, so I'm gonna, whoops. Alright, just gonna log in real quick. And let me get this code in. Alright, I'm logged in now, so you can just exit out of there. You don't have to do that, but you might have to log in. So if we go back to Unity, so what you're going to want to do, item ID, totally delete that in backspace. If you click out of there, it's going to default to 0. That's fine. That's what you want. Title, this is what you're going to see in the workshop for the name of your item. So we're just going to call it Rainbow Pistol. And then this is a little description. This is what you're going to type to tell people what it is. So a rainbow pistol with a camo overlay. For your preview image, this is the image that's going to this is the image that people are going to see when they're scrolling through the workshop. So like I was showing you with this is the preview image right here on all of these. So what you're going to do is click the little button right here, and we're just going to search rainbow because that's what we called it. Click on it. Skin type, select which skin it is. This is a semi-auto pistol. We're going to click that. Just click whichever one you're doing a model for. Material, you're going to search you're going to search your material. So this is one's ours. Click it. Make sure you get that material right, or else you're going to have problems. And then just check for problems. Everything seems to be okay. Create and upload. And then this is one of the final processes in the model making thing. It's usually the final thing. There's nothing else you're going to need to do now except to finalize it. But the way the workshop works is, at least for Rust, is stuff gets uploaded, people vote on it. If enough votes happen on your item, it could get accepted into the game. If that happens, what's going to happen is they're going to sell it on the market. So you get profit for that item when it sells. So what you're going to have to do, if you scroll down here, you're not going to see a finalize button if this is your first time ever doing something on the workshop. What you're going to have to do is you have to put in your tax information and like your bank information and stuff. And then you have to fill like a W-9 form, which if you've ever had a job, you have to fill this out like every time. At least I do. Every time I get a new job, I have to fill out my W-9. So you have to fill that out, and then you just like your bank, if you want to like direct deposit or whatever. It sounds like they're trying to scam you, but trust me, it's not. It's perfectly safe. So once it's all done, then the finalize button will come up. You can click here to add another user if another person helped you. So you can add another Steam account, and then you can change the percentages. So like 50 for you, 50 for the other person. So whenever the profits come in, half of it gets, the money gets split evenly to both of you. Or you can do 3 or even more people. I'm not sure what the limit is, but after you've done that, click finalize. It's going to ask you to please verify. Click OK. And then here you go. This is your pistol, so it's going to do this. I do this to everything. So you can exit out of that now. If we go back to our thing here, if we go back to our thing, our profile, workshop items, you now see it's 12. And then there it is, rainbow pistol. So yeah, here it is. So that's pretty much it. Another cool thing you can do is click up here on item stats. This will tell you the positive ratings and the negative ratings you get, and the Ask Me Later ones, the total number of visitors per day or whatever, the number of favorites, and then there's a little chart down here so you can view it visually. And then that's pretty much it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully it helped you out. If you guys have any questions at all, if you're having any trouble or anything, leave a comment down below. I will definitely help you out. There shouldn't be anything. I should know how to fix your problem, but yeah, any problems though, just leave it down in the comments, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. I'll try and check. I usually check every day, so don't be afraid to ask a comment for help. I'll definitely get to you. And then down here you can add links if you want to and stuff like that. Yeah. So make sure you like this video if it helped you out. That way people, when they search this stuff, they can see it as well. If you want to see more tutorials like this on 3D modeling and everything, let me know, and I will try and do more stuff like this. Yeah, I hope you guys made a really nice model. If you want to share the model with me, you can leave it in the comments too. A link to the to your workshop item, and I'll definitely check it out. I'd love to see what you guys can make with this new technology. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Later, guys.